I got to say, man, I am so disappointed with UCLA football. Remember, this is the other school in Los Angeles. They also have football, by the way. And in 2018, UCLA hired Chip Kelly to be their head coach. That's the former Oregon head coach. He coached in Philadelphia with the Eagles. He was with the San Francisco 49ers very briefly in 2016. Man, it has not worked at UCLA. I watched Kevin Sumlin get fired by Arizona. He went 9-20. Well, Chip Kelly is one game better, and he's played one more game, by the way, this year at UCLA. UCLA's 3-3. Arizona State was 0-5. But where Kevin Sumlin got fired at 9-20, again, though, with a 12-loss losing streak, Chip Kelly's only 10-20 at UCLA in 3 years. And they're 3-3 this year. They got one game left against Stanford. We'll see if that happens. COVID is very hit or miss. Like, I feel like every game, I don't trust that any game in college football is going to happen every week. I go, I'll believe it when I'm watching it live. Otherwise, I go, well, I don't know if that game is ever going to happen. But during the USC-UCLA game, Greg McElroy was broadcasting. It's a former Alabama quarterback. I think, by the way, Greg, well done. You're a great broadcaster. He does a great job. He's a good analyst. He's a good teacher of the game. I really like listening to him broadcast games. One of the guys where I don't mute it. I actually really like listening to what he has to say. But he said something I didn't agree with, Greg McElroy did. Greg McElroy said that if Chip Kelly had been the Eagles coach in 2020 in the NFL, that it would have worked out differently. And basically his whole argument and his whole point was that Chip Kelly got to the NFL a little bit too early. And there's a reality where that's true. Like, it's possible that's true. But here's why I'm not sold on that theory. And the idea that Chip Kelly got to the NFL too early, and by the way, he did really get there before the NFL was really shifting towards college schemes, where now Kyle Shanahan made it. We're doing the RG3 kind of revolutionized the zone read, RPOs, and the NFL was changed by Kyle Shanahan instituting some college stuff into his offense, and from then on it flourished. And I honestly couldn't tell you whether that was before or after Chip Kelly. I don't really care. What's interesting to me is that it begs the question, if Chip Kelly was like too early to the NFL, trying to pioneer college ideas in the NFL. And again, I don't know if Kyle Shanahan came before or after. It doesn't matter to the argument. The argument is if Chip Kelly was too early, then why couldn't Chip Kelly sell people on his philosophy? Why couldn't Chip Kelly convince people, hey, I'm not just a dumb college coach. I'm a good football coach, and I can make it work here as well. Because it always appeared like Chip Kelly's NFL players could not get over the stigma of playing for a, quote, college coach. And really what that means to me is that Chip Kelly was not inspiring enough to be a pioneer. He was not inspiring enough to make people believe in him, even if he was a little bit different. And then I look back at Chip Kelly's history. And yeah, he was very briefly, 4 years in a row at Oregon, had a great football program. So he was briefly successful at Oregon. And that's really his claim to fame. The 4 years at Oregon, he went 46-7. Chip Kelly's a great coach because of that 4-year span. Here's the problem, though. Chip Kelly did not grow that program. He didn't build Oregon. Chip Kelly inherited that team from Mike Bellotti, the previous coach. And the 2 years before Chip Kelly took over as head coach, Oregon went 9-4 and then 10-3, and he inherited a 10-win football team. So did Chip Kelly build Oregon? No, he did not. Chip Kelly was handed a great program. And yeah, Chip Kelly is undeniably an offensive genius. The dude's got a great offensive mind, good play design, good formations, the play calling, the anticipating what a defense is going to do. It blows me away. I go, man. Or he had a 4 tight end set against USC. He had 4 tight ends and 1 running back in the game. I went, that's just wicked and cool. Fun to watch. Like, good stuff. I mean, clearly, you cannot deny Chip Kelly's offensive mind. It's brilliant. But as smart as Chip Kelly is on the chalkboard and at designing plays and calling plays, he's not a good enough leader. And I know people at that program. He's not inspiring. He's not that likable. He's not that, you don't go, no one ever listens to Chip Kelly talk and goes, yeah, I'm going to jump through a brick wall. Nobody feels that way. And I know that when I listen to Herm Edwards at Arizona State, I, watching on my couch, go, I am ready to do anything this man wants me to do. This guy is amazing. I've never heard Chip Kelly in once in my life say anything where I go, wow, this guy really, what a great leader. What an inspiring man. I want to follow this guy into battle. And so he's not inspiring enough to be a pioneer in the NFL. He's not inspiring enough to build a program. And the reality about Chip Kelly is, in my opinion, he's a great offensive coordinator. Amazing. Clearly a great offensive mind. But because you're a great offensive mind does not necessarily mean you're going to be a great head coach. And I don't think Chip Kelly's a great head coach. And that's the problem. And that's what's going to... UCLA, they're going to keep banging their heads on the wall, waiting and waiting for Chip Kelly to build that program. And I don't think he's capable of that, unfortunately. I hope he gets a job someday as a coordinator, and I think he'd be amazing at that job. He clearly knows his football. But you need to know more than X's and O's to build a great program and be a great head coach. And so since I'm talking about UCLA, I want to talk about Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback at UCLA. And we'll call him DTR. DTR's career makes me sad. I mean, I go, man, oh, dang it. Every time I watch the guy. Even when DTR does very well, it makes me feel, honestly, more discouraged because the talent there is so obvious. I mean, he's got an amazing arm. He can run really well. He's got good ball location. He can extend plays. He can run for yardage. I mean, DTR can do everything. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's got the skill set of a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, just to be totally honest. And we've seen flashes occasionally. I remember there was a Washington State game up in Pullman 2 years ago maybe, where in the snow, he put up 66 points and had a crazy comeback. And so we've seen moments where DTR is amazing. And I thought the USC game, he played really, really well. And I don't know what the problem is. I can't diagnose the problem. I think I can't tell you why he hasn't exploded and become a star. I feel like he's capable of it, and it hasn't happened. And DTR's had a very up and down career where moments of greatness and then moments of really bad lows. And maybe it's coaching. Maybe it's he was out with COVID this year, so we'll never really know. And again, if it is coaching, I mean, that appears to also been kind of the problem with Justin Herbert is he got to the NFL, got better coaching. Justin Herbert exploded, and we're like, wow, how could you ever doubt him? And I go, well, he wasn't doing the stuff he's doing in the NFL in college, right? He's okay. You can be mad at me about Justin Herbert. I think good coaching matters, and that's what made Justin Herbert even better. And I would love to see Dorian Thompson-Robinson at the Senior Bowl or in an NFL preseason game because he's a really talented quarterback. And I'm not sure why he hasn't exploded. I don't know. Is it him? Is it work ethic? Is he just a really talented guy that doesn't care very much? Is he poorly coached? I don't know what's going on. But I know that when I look at Dorian Thompson-Robinson play very, very well, I go, man, where is that all the time? It's discouraging and disappointing because it feels like a missed opportunity with a guy that's incredibly physically gifted who has not exploded and has not had a great career. And I feel like is capable of potentially winning a Heisman Trophy with just his talent-wise. So, I don't know. DTR makes me very, very sad. UCLA football makes me very, very sad. Chip Kelly, I don't believe, is going to be the guy to turn that program around. And it's all just unfortunate. Now, by the way, I want to give a shout-out to UCLA running back Demetric Felton. Dude can run. Dude can catch passes. He's got a really cool skill set, and I think he's going to get a chance in the NFL. And I walked away from the USC game going, oh, who's that guy? Very impressed with Demetric Felton. And I want to see more of him down the road moving forward.